Good afternoon, everyone, and I think we may start. And welcome back for session 2 of our Foresight Symposium. I trust you're all energized after that insightful first session and the break. And dear colleagues, we will start straight away with the first presentation because the colleague will need to run away to another meeting. So I'm pleased to introduce the first speaker, Dries Gerawi, who will take us on a journey exploring economic intelligence in an uncertain world towards a new paradigm. Please, Dries, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Julia. First, I'm very happy. I want to thank you, my colleague and friend Alexander, for his kind invitation. I am very happy to participate with you in this important international conference. I'm from the Kingdom of Morocco. I'm the president of the Open University of Dakhla. And my contribution is about, as you say, economic intelligence in an uncertain world toward a new paradigm. Economics intelligence is experiencing a profound transformation in its definition, missions, and practice, evolving into a complex, multiple, and integrated ecosystem. This new ecosystem incorporates emerging fields coupled with shared missions and advancing tools inspired by the digital and artificial revolution of the post-industrial era, signaling the end of the old model and the rise of a new one. While this new model is driven by economic intelligence, practiced by a diverse rank of stakeholders, such as governments, territorial areas, financial and non-financial businesses, national regulatory bodies, think tank, socio-professional associations, the armed forces, security services, research centers, and university, its scope is now expanding to encompass all areas of life. This includes economic, finance, accounting, management, social issues, climate, politicals, law, diplomacy, strategy, defense, and security, as well as culture, heritage, emotions, and sport. It also incorporates the micro, macro, and meso dimension of economics intelligence, creating a truly integrated ecosystem. This shift is not due to the prevalence of economic aspect. Rather, all these social issues, stakeholders increasingly require as well-suited information ecosystem to keep them updated and take effective decisions. This ecosystem supports strategical and operational goals, enhances overall performance, expands influence, safeguards against competitors and potential threats, and plan for the future. Such a perspective is driven by a new factor. This new factor is that economics intelligence is now central to the three core components of national, territorial, and business world: natural, produced, and intangible capital. Major transformation in the modern world reveal that economic intelligence practitioners are increasingly supporting public policies and national strategy focused on achieving sovereignty, strategical autonomy, influence, attractiveness, competitiveness, security, and prosperity. The first area impacted by this shift is natural capital through the adoption of strategical dependency intelligence practices. Recent events such as the pandemic, the Russia-Ukraine war, conflict in the Middle East, and the adverse effects of climate change have demonstrated that strategical dependency intelligence influences all aspects of natural capital, including natural, mining, energy, and fishing resources. Strategical dependency intelligence, which associate with economic sovereignty, include wood, food, health, energy, mining, marine, and water sovereignty, as well as climate and strategical intelligence. The second field involved the expanding application of economic intelligence practices to diverse forms of produced capital. These include industry, agriculture, agri-food, banking, finance, insurance, the stock exchange, and various services provided to businesses, households, territorial area, and other public and private organizations, such as logistics, maintenance, transport, offshoring, and the management of industrial park, business park, and free trade zones. Each of these sectors and entities is now in developing its own practices in areas of their deemed strategy. The practices adopted by these sectors and stakeholders encompass economic security, focusing on protecting sensitive data from espionage, piracy, counter-influence, counterfeiting, and cyber attacks. They also include benchmarking and country risk analysis, lobbying influence, diplomatic intelligence, territorial marking, and broader economic intelligence related to territorial area. Additionally, they cover innovation and intelligence in emerging component of produces capital, such as electrical and electronic industries, medical technology, audiovisual technical, telecommunication, chemical energy, biotechnologies, space technology, blue and green economics, energy, water, and armament. However, the most significant and innovative development in the past decade is the rapid expansion of intelligence practices to encompass a crucial element of prosperous nations, territorial areas, and businesses, which is intangible capital. Currently, economic intelligence affects the four key components of intangible capital: human, institutional, social, and cultural capital. Human capital, which my colleague Philippe Claire refers to a human resource intelligence, focuses on education, training, and innovation. Tools such as innovation hubs, competitiveness cluster, think tanks, university laboratories, and research center support it. Institutional capital, characterized by practice related to intelligence governance, utilizes tools such as e-government, digital development of territory area, legal intelligence, transformation management, and change management. The mechanisms employed included social risk prevention, foresight, and management intelligence. Social capital encompasses practices such as social intelligence, social dialogue engineering, negotiation, consultation, mediation, social protection, and in the realm of wealth creation, sport intelligence. Finally, cultural capitals relies on designing heritage preservation and protection, as well as implemented the best practice in organization, management, promotion, and innovation across the arts and cultural and creative industries, including publishing, cinema, theater, music, painting, museums, electronic games, and more. The effective transformation of this field into genuine wealth requires that economics intelligence address three challenges. First, there is the challenges of time, which involve three connected aspects. The first one of this is that state, territorial area, and businesses are now operating in a rapidly changing national, continental, and global context, where knowledge, skills, technology, trades, and qualification quickly become obsolete. Consequently, there are no longer any guaranteed advantages. To stay competitive it's crucial to equip oneself with up-to-date knowledge, intelligence, innovation, and strategical monitoring. The second one lies in the overwhelming abundance of scientific, technological, economic, commercial, and financial information, intensified by the extraordinary capabilities of digital and artificial revolution. Managing this flood of information is in real time, given its rapid obsolescence, is becoming a significant challenge for state, territorial area, and businesses in their bid to enhance competitive, and strategic advantages. The third one is the rapid and structural nature of global change. This change affects all aspects of our economies, societies, institutions, territorial areas, and businesses, like demographic, economic, political, social, as well as cultural, value, military, security, and geostrategical factors, all of which are further exacerbated by the effect of climate change. Therefore, researchers, analysts, experts, and institutions dedicated to economic intelligence are expected to rise to the challenge of the acceleration of time in the 21st century by rethinking their vision of all the issues imposed by this permanent change and constantly renewing the approach, instruments, and practice of their discipline. The second challenge is to create an economic intelligence ecosystem in an uncertain world. This uncertainty stems from various sources, geostrategical uncertainties, including acceleration, scarcity of strategic resources like water, energy, agriculture, land, forests, technological mineral, and biodiversity, institutional and financial incentives such as debt, taxation, and budgetary constraints versus the generation of new resources, worsening impact of climate change on economics, society, businesses, and territorial areas, and emerging insecurities and evolving threats of conflict. The third challenge involves addressing the requirement of major future transition through specialized economic intelligence practices. This includes transition in climate, energy, and the interplay between digital and artificial intelligence. Moreover, the encompasses territorial transition versus urban governance, such as smart city, sustainable urban mobility, urban safety, and efficient waste management, Economics transition, shifting the economic model of focus on sustainable, efficient production, wealth creation, resource conservation for future generation, and fair distribution. And societal transition, adapting to new generation of citizens, businesses, and political leaders, and involving value related to social cohesion and coexistence. Despite these advancements in economic knowledge, the current dynamics of economic intelligence pose several questions that will influence its future development and practice, and so the paradigm as a whole. Here are 5 key questions of this paradigm. What information government, territories, areas, businesses, researchers, and economic intelligence professionals should produce in this age of artificial intelligence? Second, what economic intelligence training courses university, research centers, think tanks, and professionals in public and private organizations should promote in the future? Third, what basic and applied research programs all these stakeholders should put in place? Fourth, what organizational structure should economic intelligence researchers and professionals establish it in Africa and globally to adapt to the evolving realities of economics, society, territorial areas, and businesses, and address the new challenges in economics intelligence practice presented by the emerging world? And finally, what type of bilateral and multilateral, Pan-African and international collaboration could be established to address the significant shifts in economic intelligence in this light of current structural change affecting both Africa and the global landscape? These are key challenges that the discipline, along with its communities of experts, researchers, and professionals, must address in the coming array in order to contribute to build a new paradigm. The decision to create the International Center for Research and Training in Economic Intelligence, announced on 8 December 2023 in Dakhla in the Kingdom of Morocco, as collaboration between the Paris-based International Francophone Association of Economic Intelligence, the United States-based Statistical Consortium of Intelligence Professionals, and the Economic Intelligence Africa Association Forum, Professional and Economic Intelligence African Association from headquarters in Dakhla. The official agreement was signed in Rabat in Morocco on 14 May 2044. This initiative is set to establish Dakhla as a global hub for economic intelligence research and training, harnessing the collective expertise of the center's members to achieve these goals and address concerns in order to be really a new paradigm of intelligence economic. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Dries. Thank you for your outstanding speech and the introduction into your understanding of new ecosystem of economic intelligence. And I would like to ask the audience, do anybody has question for the speaker? Please.
If you allow, I just say
of course, Alexander.
Few words here. So we in fact, we have an agreement with the Dakhla University, and I was last year in Morocco. I just want to say that there are many things in common between foresight and economic intelligence or competitive intelligence, which are the fields where Dries is specialized more. So I guess we can definitely find a way to use both methods somehow both in our studies and also in studies which are organized elsewhere. This is just my short comment. Thank you. Thank you very much, this.
Thank you. I'm very sure that to collaborate with your institution will be add value for our university, and especially with our common friend like Jonathan Kalof, who is a big specialist in economic intelligence. We sure will continue to promote this new paradigm, and I'm very happy that I participate with you, and I can officially to invite you now in our next meeting in Dakhla in the first week of October.
Thank you very much, this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If there is no question, let's.
I have one question.
Okay.
Julia. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Hello, everyone. Is there any difference between economic intelligence and competitive intelligence?
Competitive in it's the same. It's the same the same concept. We can some researchers and professor and expert call economic intelligence, and others competitive intelligence. Competitive intelligence, it's in generally used by Anglo-Saxon economics, and economic intelligence is especially in francophone country like France, Morocco, and others. We call it intelligence economic intelligence, but it's the same concept.
Okay, thank you very much. I thought that it is the difference between the level of analysis, whether it is macro level or maybe micro level between firms.
You are reason. In general, when you talk about initially, historically, all the knowledge and researches and political, public or private, about intelligence is about private sector enterprise, but we have generalized the instruments and the approach of intelligence in other dimension and sector and area, and we have progressed from micro dimension to macro dimension and to institutional dimension. And now, not only we have a real integrated ecosystem of economic intelligence, including micro, macro institution, but other sectors and other actors, not only enterprise, but territorial areas, public sector, state government, civil society, and other sector, not only economics, but also political, law, and cultural, emotional, intelligence, emotion. So we now have a global ecosystem of economic intelligence.
Thank you very much for your clarification.
Oui, great pleasure.
Merci beaucoup, Driss.
Merci pour vos questions.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's switch
Mon
to the
anglais, mon anglais est très
oui,
bon.
je parle français. Okay, let's switch to the next presentation if there is no question for Driss. Okay.
Anna? Question, Anna?
Anna Gribenyuk, the Deputy Director of International Foresight Center, will present a summary of the latest research on how to cope with expert biases in S&T Delphi. This presentation tackles a very practical problem in foresight, how to get the most reliable insights from experts. So, Anna, please.
Thank you, Yulia. I'll share my screen. One moment. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you once more. Good afternoon, everyone. Today's presentation is devoted to expert biases in Delphi studies and to our thoughts about how to cope with them. So I cannot. One moment. Okay. So we here in HSC have a big experience in conducting Delphi services. So do many colleagues from Japan, Germany, United Kingdom, Korea, and other countries. And Delphi is a rather popular foresight method in format of multi-round expert study, usually using questionnaire. And before to start of each new stage, experts received generalized results of the survey from the previous round. And that allows them to compare their judgments with the opinions of other experts, and if they wish, they can adjust them. So a Delphi method was originally designed by Rand Corporation in 1930s, and it is named after ancient city of Delphi, famous for its prophets Pythia. Delphi is a very complicated method, and it has its own advantages like iterative feedback, consensus building, and anonymity of answers of experts. But of course, it has a number of disadvantages. It is one of most costly and time-consuming methods in future studies. And of course, some experts feel fatigued after these long questionnaires. So me and my colleagues try to systemize and analyze potential flaws in application of the Delphi method in large scale foresight studies related to potential biases in expert judgments, and assess to what degree the second round of the survey can contribute to achieving consensus, and how answers of high-level experts differ from answers from other experts. So during last 50 years, the Delphi method has been playing an increasingly significant role in foresight studies. The result of Delphi surveys serve as the background for national innovation strategies, for formulation S&T policies, designing research programs, identification of priorities and critical technologies. And a large-scale Delphi surveys usually just cannot be based on a standing alone method due to the complex of its nature. It is complemented by such methods as bibliometric analysis for identification of experts and technological trends, literature analysis and brainstorming for formulation of topics, interviews and expert panels for discussion of results. And in recent years, there has been a tendency to switch from performing Delphi online, making it easier to conduct a survey and process the results. So the boundaries between first and second rounds are blurring, as aligned questionnaires allow us to review intermediate results in the real time. One of the most frequently discussed issues associated with Delphi methodology is related to expert judgment biases. Even the most knowledgeable experts cannot guarantee absolute objectivity. There are several types of such biases discussed in literature, which can be structured in three major groups. The first group includes the biases related to overconfidence of experts. They're sticking to the state of art or lobbying their own interests. There could be different reasons for this. Sometimes experts are very confident in their opinions because they have a lot of experience of qualification. However, things that can happen in the future can depend on many outside factors that aren't strictly related to what the expert knows best. Some experts may stick to what they already believe and just go along with the usual way of thinking instead of considering new or different ideas. Biases can also happen if experts don't look at all the important information, or if they give too much importance to the most recent things they have learned. In some cases, experts might be influenced directly or indirectly by their own interests, such as wanting to please potential sponsors or something like this. The second group consists of biases related to the group thinking, when experts tend to prioritize consensus over independent opinion. In that case, experts are not fully sure when experts are not fully sure in their answers, they incline to give the possible version of the assessment. Many experts also tend to assess topics in line with what they consider to be social acceptable or desirable. This type of Delphi bias is connected to the main Delphi feature when experts see their answers from the previous round. And the third group of biases covers biases that may emerge when the formulation of topics can lead to ambiguous understanding by experts. During several Delphi surveys which we organized, we have found an interesting phenomenon. Highly qualified experts tend to attend high importance to the topics that are closer to their professional interest than less qualified experts are. It was also mentioned by some other foresight practitioners. Also we mentioned shifts in answers between the first and the second round. So we decided to examine this phenomenon more closely. We took 5 large-scale national surveys. We tried to find reports containing detailed results and which are available publicly. Most of these reports are rather old. They date back to the 1990s. So we took United Kingdom, German, and Japan reports. Also, we took fresh Japan report and Russian Delphi conducted by HSC in 2008. Basic organization of reports makes it possible to compare the studies. So we analyze the shifts of expert assessments of the technology importance between the first and the second rounds and between high level and other experts. And for all surveys, we analyze 3 S&T areas: medicine, information and communication technologies, and energy. So to this slide, you can see results for analysis of the shifts of expert assessments between high level and other experts. At first, we used median test to explore if there are any shifts. In the first table, you can see the share of topics with shifts that can point out possible biases for every S&T areas and for every analyzed studies. The conducted analysis shows that there is a possible bias for the majority of topics. The situation is least typical for the 6th Japanese Delphi. And t-test results, which you can see in the second table, confirms median test. A significant shift in answers is observed for all 4 countries. Experts tend to overestimate the importance of analyzed topics compared to non-experts. This bias can be explained by the phenomena that the experts who have the closest links to the topic under consideration indicate that the research is of greater importance than non-experts who specialize in other research areas. In addition, the bias in estimates may occur due to the experts' fears that the topic of their interest can be less important in contrast to other topics. On the next slide, you can see results of comparison expert assessments in the first and the second round. Here also, you can see that our test shows the possibility of biases for majority of topics. These conclusions are confirmed by median test and also by t-test results. And only in the 11th Japanese Delphi, less than half of topics for all 3 S&T areas don't show the shift of estimations. According to t-test, the comparison of average of mean for the first and the second round reflects the steady trend of increasing importance of the topics in the second round. Analyzing the results of the first round, experts may overestimate the importance of technologies in order to make topics that correspond to their interests look more significant, hoping for high support and funding. In the third table, we analyzed variance in distribution of respondents' responses in the first and second round. The conducted analysis shows that for most of topics in all surveys and all areas, the variance in the second round was higher than in the first round. And it means that in analyzed cases, the second round in general doesn't contribute in reaching consensus among experts. So this can become a critical problem as as expert judgments are not based on facts. They may not be based on facts, and it is especially important if the survey results are used to shape S&T policies and set R&D financing priorities. So what we can do to deal with these biases? Part of them are largely devoted to nature of human psychology and cannot be fully avoided. But what can we do is more connected to Delphi design, the formulation of topics, design of questionnaire, selection of experts. First, the quality of topic formulation is of key importance. More topics should be of market pull type and less of technology push type. And the questionnaire should be organized meaningfully and randomized when and where it is possible. For future foresight exercises gauging big number of respondents, we propose 2 key ways of mitigating these problems. The first one is to improve Delphi methodology and thoughtfully combine Delphi with other methods. For example, systemic formulation of topics can be based on literature review, bibliometric analysis, and expert panels. The set of topics could be analyzed by modern AI instruments. After each round, it is advisable to organize special moderated thematic panels with the leading scientists, business people, and policymakers to discuss the topics with highest importance. Such between round feedback is important because it helps experts to explain their opinion and make judgments more argumented. The second way to mitigate biases is to use non-conventional approaches. For example, using relevant IT tools for Delphi servers can be helpful here. For example, for deeper semantic analysis of individual topics, you can find more information for experts to make their opinions more argumented. Also, with IT instruments, there is more opportunities for introducing such approaches as augmented Delphi, where participants are asked to give reasons for their assessments. The second round couldn't obligatory cover all the topics from the first one and couldn't be restricted to the topics with the highest level or importance of importance, or with the nearest time of realization, or with the census amongst experts. Identifying such topics is per se an important result that indicates areas of uncertainty. The second round can be different from the first round in both sets of topics and the issues addresses. You can focus in the second round on STI policy measures, risks and barriers for technology implementation, and so on. You can also involve different groups of experts in the first and in the second round. For example, the first round can be devoted to market pool approach, and the second to the technology push, or vice versa. So Delphi is a very useful, and that is why very popular foresight method, and it is important to increase the quality of Delphi outputs and make them more useful for policy making. And I hope that our suggestions can be helpful to improve it according to goals of concrete projects. Thank you.
Anna, thank you so much for your outstanding presentation. The topic is really very interesting. And we have one question in chat. You see it, or should I read it?
Yes, I just need to read it. Yes.
Yes.
This question for Fabian. It seems that one of the major problems of Delphi is to identify real experts and not people with opinion only, not grounded knowledge. Moreover, in foresight, the capability of experts to project themselves into the future is another critical issue. Yes, I agree with Fabian that it is always better to talk with real experts and to ask real experts about different topics. And what the aim of Delphi often is to find a consensus between a big amount of experts. And here, it is what is your aim? If you really want to ask a narrow range of experts, you can ask only them. If you want to find consensus and to show policymakers that you ask everyone, you can do in opposite. That is why in many Delphi studies, you can see there are two types of results: answers of expert, of high-level experts, and other experts. And I think it is you can use them for different purposes. And for more depth analysis, I suppose it is better to address to high-level experts. Thank you.
I have a question.
Thank you so much. Yes, Dries, please.
It's about large-scale surveys concerned Japan. In 1997, It's 4,000, and in 2019 it's 2,000. It means that we have 50% reduction. What are the reasons of this situation for Japan?
Thank you. Unfortunately, I wasn't involved in Japanese exercise, and I can only suppose that it is expert fatigue, because Japanese questionnaire are very big. And it is really difficult to answer them once for the first time and then for the second time. And I suppose it is expert fatigue, but it is it's better to ask our colleagues from Japan.
Thank you.
I may add probably, if you like. In fact, Japanese in Japan. Actually, usually the response rate was rather high in their Delphi surveys, but with the time, the number of experts engaged was decreased because not all of them wanted to participate. They sent out the questionnaires, and then they collected what they could, and the share of people who really responded was decreased over the time. Maybe this is one of the reasons. And maybe I will add one point to the presentation, because I was engaged in this work. What's really important for us, because we know that Delphi software are extremely expensive, because they engage thousands of experts, and it's a real very big work. And the reason we started doing this research was to identify, is really Delphi worse to do it. So because we took only the software which are really very big, with the engagement of thousands of experts. This was the reason we didn't analyze smaller scale the Delphi, where maybe these biases might not work at all. But when you engage a lot of experts, and some experts are interested that their research would be funded in the future, it's very say this issue is very sensitive, and we wanted to analyze how it works in reality. This was the reason for this study. Sorry for the intervention.
Thank you, Alexander. And Fabienne has another question. I will read it. Yeah, you see, why there is no alternative methods to Delphi that is so largely used despite its bias.
It is my own opinion. I think that Delphi became something like a golden standard. Yes, and it is a good foresight study if you use Delphi. But what if you do something else for the second round? Not just the same questionnaire, but maybe you should ask other respondents, or ask other questions, or try to understand why concrete themes are important, or you cannot build consensus among them. So I think we use Delphi because it is a common use practice, but to my mind, it is better to reorganize the second round to gather more deep information.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for introducing the mitigation strategies and the ways how to cope with the biases. So let's move on because we run out of time actually. So the next presentation will be by Surachai Sathit Narat, who will introduce us to the AI Foresight platform for policy design in Thailand. So, please, the floor is yours. Surachai, we don't hear you.
Surachai, you are muted.
Hello.
Oh, yes, everything works.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, everything okay. Yeah,
Thank you
please
very
start.
much.
Thank you.
And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and friends from around the world. I'm Surachai Sathit from Office of National Higher Education, Science Research and Innovation Policy Council, or in XPO, and APEC Center for Technology Foresight from Bangkok, Thailand. First of all, I would like to thank the HSE for invitation, and this is a good opportunity to share our work from APEC CDF and at XPO. My talk will be entitled AI, Artificial Intelligence Foresight Platform for Policy Design in my country, in Thailand. Next slide, please. First, let me explain how foresight has evolved in Thailand. Before 2015, we mainly used traditional methods, like experts would meet, discuss future scenarios, and anticipate the futures. This was helpful but limited because it relied on just a few opinions, even expert opinion, and was mostly qualitative. From 2016 to 2021, Thailand shifted to a more comprehensive way and evidence-based way of planning for the future. The government, mainly through NXPO and APEC CTF, started using more data tools like charts and pattern studies instead of just request opinion from the experts, as mentioned. They began using several tools together in each project to make sure their finding was more reliable. This helped them make better plans for science, technology, energy, health, and education across the country. From 2022 until now, Thailand started using AI in foresight activities, both through adopted platform from various organizations and by developing its own tools. Nextpo, my organization, and Thammasat University began creating Thailand's first AI-powered foresight platform specifically designed for policymakers. This will be explained in more next upcoming slides. Next slide, please. As I mentioned earlier, we developed Thailand's first AI-powered foresight platform for policy design, created by NXPO and Thammasat University. This platform uses AI, machine learning, and generative AI to analyze huge amounts of data to assist the policymakers. Next slide, please. The main goals of this platform are simple: to support data-driven policy for Thailand's future industries, to spot emerging trends early, even in weak signal, and to combine AI with human expertise. Why is this important? It helps align our science technology planning with national strategy like bio, circular, green economy policy as our national policy and other national plans. It gives policymakers evidence-based insights, and it helps Thailand adapt quickly during times of disruption like health crisis like COVID-19 pandemic in recent years. Next slide, please. The platform works in five key steps. First, it collects data from patents, academic papers, web data, and even podcasts like the social listening. Then it uses AI models to identify patterns and trends. We also use generative AI to extract new insights and expand our understanding. Human experts review and validate the AI outputs, creating a feedback loop that improves the system over time. Next slide, please. Next slide, please, to slide number 8, please. Thank you. We organize our future planning work into 5 domains areas: international affairs, national growth, national resilience, quality of life, and governance. Each area covers specific topics and that help policymakers when they create new rules, new regulation, or new policy and plan for our country. Next slide, please. As the pilot case, we have selected health sector. This is our important sector in our country. We use the platform in the health sector. It helped us identify 6 key healthcare technologies for Thailand to focus on, from diagnostics to medical robotics. Next slide, please. This is to show you some example. This platform creates visual dashboards showing trends and connections. Next slide, please. We could track even in weak signals, early indicators, and future changes, and see how different topics relate to each other. Next slide, please. For my conclusion, this AI foresight platform helps us, Thailand, analyze complex data to support better policy decisions. It works as a decision support system for policymakers, combining powerful search capabilities with knowledge extraction tools. The system provides both visual graphs for experts and direct recommendation. Again, this is our first AI-powered foresight system in Thailand, specifically built to support policy design for our national transformation. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Surachai, for your wonderful presentation. Please, audience, do you have any questions?
If I can,
Alexander, okay, yeah.
If I can ask,
please,
Surachai, thank you very much. It's very, very nice to see you at our conference. It's very interesting because we also use AI to as a background for foresight studies, but we more focus on as a tool which supports experts to give their judgments. What's the key function, I would say, of your system? Is it mostly for experts? How you combine work with experts and your AI tools?
Thank you very much, Alexander. Besides to support the experts for their data support or for their judgment to give us expert opinion or data, evidence-based data. But for these tools, as we have developed, we just analyze the huge data, not only academic paper, but from any sources like it seems like the social listening, and then we use AI for develop for process the policy. It's like the dynamics process to draft our policy. It can change like real time as the data provided in our database. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. And Fabienne has a question. Yes, please.
Yes, thank you. Hi, Suhashai. I have two
Hello,
questions.
Fabienne.
I have two questions, by the way. The first one
Please.
is, okay, we all know about AI hallucinations. So I would like to know how you evaluate, you assess the degree of confidence that you can have in the information provided by AI. First one. The second one is when you use AI for foresight, one of the main issues is the time horizon. It's very difficult for an artificial intelligence to understand if something will occur in the next 10 years or in the next 100 years, because time has no reference. I mean, it has no consistency for an AI. So, well, this is something that is critical for me as a futurist in the use of AI. So I would be interested in understanding how you proceed with this.
Fabian, for your first question, I could not catch because it's quite a weak signal from your side or from my side. Could you repeat the first again?
Yeah, sure. My first question is about the fact that AI is not always correct. It can produce what we call hallucination, which means that AI creates false information. Not
false
real
information, right?
Yes, false information. It can create, for example, false newspaper article, or it can create false references. So how you deal with this?
Okay, for your first question, yes, of course. For the fourth question or for the fraud, first of all, we are aware to use AI with care. Like we consider the ethic on AI, how to use AI. Okay, and yes, of course, we might not respond to the false information of fraud, but we not only rely on AI data, huge data, but we use expert to review, to fine tune the result from our system. So it means we have the to recheck or to fine tune the expert.
Okay.
Could you repeat the second question, please?
And the second one is how can you deal with the time horizon? Use an AI, because AI has no sense of time.
Honor to your question. This is our weak point also, because we have just our limited database. Since we try to use data as much as we can, like from academic paper, track to long term previously, but this is we need to improve this, and I will accept your suggestion for this about the time horizon. Thank you very much, Fabian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, any questions? Okay, thank you once again, and
thank you.
Let's move for our last presentation. It will be made by my colleagues, Irina Loginova and Anna Piekalnits. They will share the expertise on AI-powered foresight and how we use it in our day-to-day work and to enhance our expertise in almost all of our projects. Yes, please.
Всем здравствуйте. Подскажите, пожалуйста, как слышно и как видно презентацию?
Hi everyone, I hope you can hear me. I hope you can see the presentation.
У меня маленький экран еще виден, я не знаю.
Угу.
Вот
Сейчас
так вот.
попробую перезапустить.
Слышно хорошо.
Да.
So we can also see the preview window, and so I will reshare.
Все еще маленькое, да?
Is it small?
Было нормально.
No, it was okay actually. It's okay.
Yes. Все хорошо.
Да, спасибо. Да, всем здравствуйте, меня зовут Ирина
So,
Логинова.
hi everyone, my name is Irina Loginova. So today we'll talk about foresight and on how AI and big data reshape foresight. Anna Piekalnits, my colleague, is with me today. So our joint report that I will present. It's a bit heavy in terms of the amount of data, so I'm sorry if it will be slow. So we look at how processes and procedures change over time. Instruments and tools are becoming more complicated. Foresight is not the same as operational analysis. It can produce non-linear takeaways that cannot be gleaned from the data, and that's why it requires automation. So the key insight from foresight is moving away from reproducing the present to foresight, but the standard toolkit is no longer efficient, and reliance on retrospective data doesn't make sense. The advances in AI has transformed and re-engineered foresight practices. We're currently at the crossroads. I will focus today on research of the dichotomies or antinomies between democratization and the efficiency. The key challenge for this dichotomy is about the amount of data, and the expert data have been the key asset for expert analysis. But today, as we get more information, more data, our experts cannot cover the scope of data. So what is the benefit of AI for different analytical purposes? No code interfaces for the AI researchers. Chatbots and dialogue assistants are multimodal tools. The general purpose is to assist experts to ease their work. How does it fit into the foresight tools? It's all about evidence. And we have objective, measurable data. This is the most structured, formalized type of data processing, so that we can introduce machine learning, AI, natural language processing. And there are other methods that can come into play. We'll see that later. All this automation is designed to assist experts to improve their efficiency, productivity, to help them get rid of routine operations. We have a lot of experience in this. And we've always done, proceeding from the fact from the premise that we need to help the experts, and the services that we've come up with usually complemented human intelligence with AI intelligence. In 2024, the High School of Economics developed an I4-based assistant that supports experts in trends and technology research. This is, this is generative AI. This is an expert database, our own LLM, and the no-code interface. So you have this dialogue mode. Users can ask a question in the natural language and get an answer in the same natural language. So this generation of answers employs topic controlling, the number of links, and multilinguality. Now let's talk of the different types of AI. Scalability, ease of text and LLMs. It's a key feature of AI development. Textual data is the key data for generative AI-based research that looks at weak signals, emerging signals, and the information about these signals is presented in unstructured, chaotic way. And so we see an unprecedented growth of LLM-based products, including in foresight. To your right, we have some use cases of how LLMs fortify foresight. It's like a scholar's agent or hybrid systems to predict the future. We also had a digital consultant who can replace an expert panel or a roundtable of experts. But once it comes to real life goals, the use of big LLMs in foresight is limited. And you can only use some of these tools in theory. So we've taken a few products, a few major products, Gemini, OpenAI, GPT-4o, i4, and GigaChat. And we ask them about the difference, the optimistic scenario. And you can see that the AI can respond, and the answers could be similar, but is there value behind it? Not every LLM can suit foresight goals, because usually we have a very specific, idiosyncratic query. So we need some unique prompts for AI. And the existing LLM products on the basis of the AI don't really cater to foresight. So these answers have some inexhaustive information, and sometimes it's pretty naive, something that's on the surface. But there are benefits, accelerating collection, compilation of information, higher productivity, supporting your creativity. That's true. At the same time, AI capitalizes on the threats and challenges for foresight, and that's a broader topic that I'd like to talk about. The biggest challenges out there is the data dependence. Resource and algorithm depend limits, a black box, confidentiality, data sensitivity. These risks could be more general in nature, and there are niche risks for foresight-specific risks. And it puts scholars in a situation when, going forward, there will be a full devaluation of analysis and expert analysis, and major think tanks will treat AI that needs to be ignored, evaded. Otherwise, there will be a negative association that AI is something that creates low quality results, that produces fakes, hallucinations, and manipulations. So you need to be really careful weighing the pros and cons. I would like to talk about risks a little further. There are 3 systemic risks. So they kind of set the tone for this. The first one is generative AI as a analytical function. Is that okay or not? So there's the human side and there's the technology side. I'll start with the technology side of it. True, generative AI is capable of creating disruptive scenarios, getting out of the rut, creating out-of-the-box solutions. That would take more time for a human, but that is in conflict with a different trend. Attempts to lower AI hallucinations. Domain-specific approaches are created, reasoning and other tools are introduced. So it's usually limited by the expert database to limit the number of these fakes. So there is a contradiction. So on the one hand, you have context-bound instruments, and will they be able to create these disruptive or breakthrough scenarios? Well, foresight is supposed to be pretty, flexible and resilient to hallucinations, because in foresight you don't have yes or no answers to the questions that it poses. But that is true only if you have a qualified user. However, active users have a lower critical thinking ratio, and it's really difficult to differentiate between thinking outside the box and hallucinations. It's simply because the experts cannot post-validate this, because their critical thinking has been degraded. Then data accessibility in foresight and a comprehensive data strategy. Now, if you sum up every possible use case, then there will be just 4 options. Either you work with the experts analysis or with the retrospective data from the sources, or some niche topics, like there's no data for it, or there's just a few data. And fourth is synthetic data or generated data that we create on our side if we don't have any other options. And if we take a critical approach to it, like most of the foresight methods, it leverages expert analysis. They're laborious, they take time for collection, for the updates. Retrospective data-driven models will reproduce the same stereotypes and biases, while synthetic data, as they respond to the fact that there are no other data, they are not reliable. You don't have any standards to use them, ethical, technical, and furthermore, there's a heated debate on the ethics of the use of the results based on synthetic data. We don't really know how to trust them, whether we can scale it and make it public. So what is the combination of data to provide for the full automation of foresight and the use of AI there? So we've not been able to respond to this question. So we need to, in the ultimate role is supposed to be, making it faster and less risky. But, it's not the case. It's not just about validating hypotheses. What we see is that goal setting is a standalone qualification, standalone role, which is undervalued, particularly in complex analytical fields. It requires quantum engineering, it requires expertise, but most importantly, you need to be able to translate it from the language of your business or your field into specific technical prompts that AI can understand, and you might have dramatic social consequences. So it's not just, getting some of the professions, like moving them in the past, like some professions may die out, and some organizations will have to switch to new paradigms. Most of the analytical resources will be designed to support the infrastructure and the architecture, and we will see that all of these functions could be split into two types: primitive ones, routine, linear, like to tag the data for AI, and on the other hand, high margin tasks, complex training for AI, and that will change the labor market. And that brings us to a simple conclusion that AI standards in the use of foresight projects will still have to be shaped, will have to be designed. And we've come up with two scenarios. The one is speed and autonomy, and the second is transparency and control. As part of the first scenario, experts and analysts perceive AI in a very positive, with rose-tinted spectacles, with high expectations. Now, based on this, AI can automate even highbrow activities, highly intellectual jobs, and sometimes they even say it's economically inevitable. The second scenario is more realistic. It's a soft one. And the key skill is for the experts to be able to manage and control AI. And the role of human is still there, but there are some non-trivial competencies like a creative approach, critical thinking, your ability to research, and adaptability. So the experts will launch AI for specific research, and once one stage is over, then you need to ensure cohesion between different stages of research, and that will be the job of this human operator. And so you definitely need human teams, even if your company is entirely AI driven. So what would be the outcome of this? I think we need to focus on three aspects. This human AI interaction should see AI as an assistant and not as a competitor. As for the foresight teams, they will have to shift to produce sustainable, reproducible methodologies so that complex business ideas will then have to be translated into simple prompts for AI. And we also need to look for a new balance between objectivity and creativity. So the pivot will be towards quantitative methods. Now, if you try to package this into some product approach, we can see a paradigm for such a product. So how can an AI system look like for foresight purposes? I don't want to focus too much on it because it overlaps with the previous report. So on top of the three methods that we use, the databases, LLMs, and the human-computer interface, we have a fourth component, which is critical, that's expert knowledge. And that modifies other components, and you would need some specific solutions in terms of the methodology and technology of how you can integrate incorporate expert knowledge into these systems. How can we combine data? How can you upload some relevant futuristic data? So that's a new layer of activities, and that's new product requirements. And finally, to sum it up, I can say that my report was not designed to give you answers. I wanted to raise those issues. We can see that transformation horizons. We can see that ahead of us there will be compromises, crossroads between ethics, technology, and eventually we will need to come up with an AI approach that would ensure high-quality foresight and prediction of the future. That's it. Thank you. I'll be happy to take your questions.
Thank you, Irina. I will continue in English. So thank you so much for such an exciting presentation and curious approach to the understanding of foresight's future and the role of artificial intelligence. So I see one comment and question from Fabienne in our chat. Should I read it or? Okay, I will read it.
Юлия, если сможете, буду очень благодарна.
Indeed, a comprehensive data strategy is necessary, but the issue is that most futurists are not trained to deal with artificial intelligence, and most AI specialists are not trained in future studies. So how to solve this? What do you think, Irina?
Well, foresight is such a niche, a boutique topic, and you can't call any analytical research that you cannot call it foresight. So we said that AI needs to be used by a qualified user, and you need to be versed in subject matter. You need to know this field. So this transformation, I think we have to trust, the leading minds, the leading experts in this field. We're currently at a time where we need to shape and invent things, and once it's already there, we'll roll it out, we'll do networking, we'll expand the network of experts. And this democratization that we might see thanks to the foresight will benefit everyone. There'll be more specialists. So when it's easy to work with foresight thanks to new tools, we can see it right now. It seems to be simple. You can, access any product, get any question, get any answer to any question. And it seems easy, but we should not treat it as, that will be 100% successful. We need to validate it. But that's an excellent question. Thank you. So there will be more foresighters, there will be more futurologists once foresight is embraced by a wider public.
Thank you so much, Rina. And one more question. Do we need IE foresight? Indeed. You talked about risks. Maybe everything will be an analytics instead of working with future, or vice versa. What do you think?
Мне кажется, что есть разные стейкхолдеры, и для кого-то очень важны
I think there are different stakeholders. For some, objectivity is important, quantitative surveys are important, but there are also stakeholders who need genuine foresight insights. It's all driven by experts. We can talk to experts, get this niche expertise, which you cannot find in any sources, which you cannot digitize. I'm sure there'll be a hybrid, a blended strategy. We think we had a slide on it. So I believe that it's inevitable. The share of analysis, of database analysis will increase, this day-to-day analysis, and we'll need to show it. Like the foresight relies equally on data and on data sets, on the tools, how to process the data. So I'm sure we need to strike some equilibrium, some golden mean, when we are going to have some tools which will enable a quick data exchange, some interfaces, ecosystems, environments, so that the experts can upload this information that's going to be quickly digitized, so that you can combine it with secondary data. So expert analysis will be complemented by source data, and that gives us a comprehensive data set that will have the pros of the qualitative and quantitative analysis.
Thank you so much. Yes, Alexander, please. One more question.
It's a very interesting discussion, which was initiated by Fabian. I guess anyway we will need experts first, on the one hand. On the other hand, what we need from experts, not just give their expert judgments, but we need to organize discussions between them. This is one point. Another point is we need to think them out of the box, which is very important. And I helps in this respect, because it can show you some unexpected issues or unusual judgments. I don't know what, and it helps experts on the one hand to work creatively. On the other hand, we need to organize their work so that they could exchange their opinions, and when it's well supported by information and evidence of different kind, it's the essence of foresight. And this is, I guess, the key point which we have from AI, which will help us to make foresight more successful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. More questions? Okay, I think...
Да,
yes.
можно один вопрос? Ирина, скажи,
Конечно,
пожалуйста, как ты думаешь, когда вот этот вот баланс будет найден между теми усилиями, которые будут прикладывать эксперты для того, чтобы довести данные до какого-то состояния, в котором искусственный интеллект сможет их употребить, да, сделать какие-то правильные выводы, сделать, то есть подложку для исследования. И вот, когда исследователи научатся правильно работать с искусственным интеллектом, то есть когда эффективность повысится, и в принципе этот инструмент будет уже довольно широко применен. Вот пока, в принципе, вот на проверку, на факт-чекинг, на выявление там каких-то неправильных суждений, да, несуществующих на несуществующие материалы, на необходимость, не знаю, там загрузки ключевых каких-то слов, описывающих область. Вот, уходит довольно много времени. Вот, когда результаты, ну, наверное, и вложения, как бы результаты будут эффективными, наиболее полными, а вложения станут менее, что ли, значительными.
Я, если честно, считаю, что это отчасти вопрос нашего личного восприятия.
Question of our personal perception. On one hand, it boils down to technology. On the other hand, about our personal skills and how we can handle those things that are the output of foresight studies. And sadly or not, statistics show that now the researchers cannot project directly or clearly what happened to their technologies in a couple of years. So I was frustrated by that because it seems that when the technology reaches an advanced stage, we will get better, high quality outputs, and no additional competency will be needed. But if we see some projections, and if we get it's hard to predict. What shall be the benefits of this advancement of technology? Will they not be offset by the negative effects? And I saw some of the negative scenarios saying that the society will not catch up with the AI pace of development, and under this scenario, we'll hardly get the high quality side, and the society will be dedicated of how to how to mitigate the risks of the AI, how to preserve the human touch and the humane nature. Has been a very important, great and precious side. I believe that at this stage of technological development, we can use side properly and can handy if you know some of the rules and the methodology, and you know where the AI can use you. So still at the end of the day, already at this point, it is useful.
Thank you so much for this fruitful discussion. And I think the main conclusion is that we must develop our creativity to remain in demand as foresighters in the future, and to be good analysts. Let's summarize our wonderful second session. I want to express my deepest gratitude to all of you for your contributions, to our brilliant speakers. Thank you for sharing your insights and vision that push the boundaries of foresight, and the future of foresight is stronger because of your curiosity and commitment and creativity as well. Thank you so much, colleagues.
Excuse me, our next session will be in 24 minutes. So we have a short break for 24 minutes and then the next session. It will be devoted to future studies and new agenda. Okay. See you soon.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.